week's ideas and forecasts and combination of a look ahead for next week. So let's start off with the first recommendation on the week was after this big down day we had Friday was to sell this first rally up here. And we made about 35, 40 pips, and then the BE stop got picked off on this move, almost back to the high, but above the BE level. So the other half was BE. And up here, what we did was we bought the Aussie and we sold the yen. So the Aussie, we've already taken partial profits. This is where we bought the Aussie in here, 64.72. And we've taken some partial profits on this. Here's my target. I'm using the weekly 200 moving average right here. Comes in around 66.80. So I still think there's another 160 pips left in it. Afterwards, then I'll be looking for a pretty sharp pullback back down into the mid 62s. We had multiple opportunities and trades in US dollar yen. We had, this was a day that both the Aussie was bought and the yen was sold. So from here, you had nice partials. Had sells last week, if you kept probing this range. I had shorts here for last week, and I'm still looking for this 145.5 to 140 level in US dollar yen, which I think will still lead to one more low in the 10-year yield. We're up a couple of bips today at 430, but I do believe, just like I said up here, I thought we would fail from this resistance, which was the neckline of a head and shoulders top. There's your head and shoulders right there, and retest. So I'm looking for 410, and then we'll see. Maybe that's it. I think that both the yen and the yields should bottom fairly close to each other. I told you not to buy the Canadian. That was here with this weak flag that we had, and it was a very weak flag, and it's trying to bounce again here, and actually brought up 136.50 as a possible entry for longs. I still think that's in gear. Gold held its 33.80 breakout. It's grinding, still looking okay. Now I think you could trail longs instead of under 33.50. That you don't want to see this market back under 33.80 under the breakdown. Silver, not as strong today. Still think that we're headed above 40. 42 was the number I've had for a few weeks. And I do want to touch upon our new campaign trade that got off before the surge yesterday. We had a very nice surge in Nat Gas. They tried to sell it off at the close, and they got stuffed. They tried to sell it off early. The big round number, $3, is probably the next stop, and then you'll have the trend line at 340. But this is a campaign trade. I believe that we're going to have huge moves on the upside in Nat Gas. Here's your weekly. We're getting a nice weekly blue candle. First one, right? Last week, red, doji, red, red, red. So it's the first up week in about 6. And, we did diverge, held. Looks like it could just be an ABC. And even if you're a bear and you're saying this is just a bear market rally, this was a great bear market rally. It was about $2.50, right? So if I'm looking for 1.618 of this, I'm looking for 4. So 4 from 260 gives you 660, 70 right here. So this is the kind of move I'm looking for here, up to about between $6 and $7. And longer term, I think we're even going to take out this high. So very bullish. I should give you an update on grains. They all still look good. No reason to abandon these grains. they're acting. Get to them. Okay, there you go. So corn really, it was the first one out of the hole. There's your third week. There's your daily. Looks pretty good to me. Broke out over 4. Should not trade under 4. Here's wheat. Wheat as well. You know, nice divergence at the bottom. If we could clear this 535 level, I think we're heading back up towards 550. And the beans as well. They've had a huge run, and this was the first one to turn, and then the corn turned. So beans, we'd be lucky to get a break back down to 10.10. So all the grains look good. So my commodity trades right now are the long side of grains and the long side of natural gas. Bitcoin still can't really get its sea legs together. I've been talking 103. I still think that's possible. This rally I didn't think was the bottom, was going to be a rally to sell. And I don't think that this was a bottom. Maybe now on one more good break, 104, 103, we'll have some divergences setting up there in Bitcoin. Just a quick look. I know that some people follow the DAX. You know, DAX has been underperforming the U.S. markets, which is, you know, the opposite of how it was the first 6 months of the year, where you didn't want to have anything dollar denominated in your portfolio, or at least a smaller portion of that. So here's the DAX. See that? So we're still well off the highs in the DAX. But I don't see any reason why we can't break out here either. Okay. Or we could just get one more flow. I'd still buy breaks in the NASDAQ. S&P wise, had a, if you were in the trades room, had a very nice day trade yesterday. The first half was taken at 7 or 8 handles, and the second half at about 24. So S&P's never got up to 65.20, got close up here at 65.12. So we'll see what happens next week. Maybe we just fail from here. You know, there are targets much higher, 66 and change, and then you have your 68 guys. But you know, you can't argue with we're making new highs on the daily diverging. The 4-hour did not take out the 70 level on this last push up. So maybe 15 was enough and we're going to come off. No, I can't find many bears out there now. So we'll see what happens here. We're in the greed section of the greedometer, and it's just a matter of whether or not it's complete at 520 or it's got another 100 handles in it. Looking at some of the FANG stocks, let's see what NVIDIA is doing today. Okay, that's pretty ugly. So it better hold under 170. You got 155 coming. So got the earnings out of the way, and now NVIDIA is looking pretty ugly. Let's see what Uber's doing. You know, Uber did not make a new high up here. So, you know, here's the daily. Almost looks like a double top, but I don't know, sometimes threes fail. I wouldn't be long Uber. Palantir never got out of the way of its initial breakdown. So we'll see what happens there. You know, nothing, as long as Bitcoin's under pressure, you have to give the benefit of the doubt that there's some liquidity stuff going on in the market. And, you know, I'll just sit with that. So here's Nat Gas one more time. There you go. They're getting to it a little bit now. So we'll see what happens here. See, a lot of people wanted to buy the 260. which reminds me of a lot of numbers that everyone's looking for because there was major monthly support at 260. When everyone wants to buy at one number, like a big round number, it either never gets there, like now, or if it gets there, it'll be like a hot knife through butter. So that's the way I'm going home over the weekend and still have some positions that I think we could get targets in Aussie up here. And I think we could still get targets in yen down here. And we'll see what happens with energy. And this is going to be a very big week for the dollar coming up here. We might get a full-blown retest of this low right here, which was 97.10, which this speed line's coming in a little bit beneath it. So we'll see. That's going to be the whole game in September. Do we hold this break for one more low? Because the bears think they have it because it was only 3 waves. But if we hold down here and head back up again, that'll change their tune. So I'm going to be looking at this level, 97 level, very closely. That's still 100 away. That should take the euro back up towards around 118. And then if we break this, then we're going to 120 euro, and we're going to 94 something, 95 Dixie. So that's what I see this week. If there's anything I haven't covered, let me know if you're learning, what you're learning, if it's added value to some of the things that you've been doing this week. Maybe you caught some of these currency trades, and maybe you caught the day trade in the S&P yesterday. So just feel free to communicate with me. I always read what the messages I get under the video. For those in the U.S., we're going to be closed. I won't be here Monday. I'll see you again on Tuesday. Those in the U.S. have a great holiday weekend, kind of the last big holiday of the summer. Enjoy, rest up, because I'm telling you, September is going to be a month where we have a lot of interesting inflection points, not just the dollar. The dollar's going to do it. There's going to be stuff with yields. There's going to be stuff with energy, and let alone all the geo stuff. Let me just wrap it with this. I know we're all focused on will the Fed cut or not next month, but there are things bigger than the Fed, like what's happening with the escalation between Russia and Ukraine, where a ceasefire would have been better. Instead of, oh, we don't need a ceasefire, we'll just negotiate a peace deal. Because now Putin is intentionally hitting U.S. and European targets inside of Ukraine. So it's like a low level war against the U.S. The Europeans think that Russia's weak and that this might be the time to take them on. So, there's a lot of things that are going on, and it may even be one of the biggest impacts of the euro coming off from wherever we peak. And I think we could pull back to 108, 110. Might be just that fear of the escalation of the Ukraine war, where an ocean makes investors feel more comfortable being in dollars than being on the continent where there's kinetic warfare. So that's a wrap for me, everyone. Remember, don't just count your